Alright, I have been waiting so long to make this video. I was on a waiting list for like 8 months before I could get my hands on one of these things. So this video's been a long time coming. So what we're taking a look at today is, in all of its glory, a Wasp CO2 injection knife. Now, what that is this is a basic knife, except for you screw off the handle, slip one of these CO2 cartridges in there, tighten the handle back up, and then you have a knife that also shoots CO2. So there's a channel that goes from here all the way to the tip of this blade. So that way, whenever you push this button, it'll release all of the CO2 from the handle into whatever you have stabbed this knife into. This knife was originally made for divers, so that way if you were like diving in the ocean and you were getting attacked by like a shark or something, you could stab it and then push this button and then inject it with CO2. Of course, that would do, probably 100 times more damage than just a regular stab would, because the CO2 is under a ton of pressure, which I'll actually go ahead and show you now because I've been dying to discharge this thing. So the CO2 comes out of this tip, so you can see that here. So you can see that's a lot of pressure. If that was stabbed into something, that's going to do tons of damage. So I'm really excited to have my hands on one of these things, and we are going to run it through its paces and see how good it is. Okay, so the first thing that I kind of want to talk about with this knife is that it's actually not going to be a very good knife by itself. This gas channel that comes all the way through the blade is incredibly thick, and because of that, I don't know, I'm not saying that you couldn't get a really sharp edge on this, but they don't send it with a very sharp edge from the factory. I put this on the sharpness tester and it scored a 700, which is very high. I think a lot of that has to do with just how thick the blade is, and this thing isn't really designed to be like a regular knife. It's more designed to do what it does: stab, penetrate, and inject CO2, which it should be very, very good at. We'll just do a regular paper test. Like you can see, it's very it does a lot more ripping than cutting. If you do a real fast slicing motion, you can kind of get it to slice, but other than that, not very good. Not really what you want to see from a knife. I have some 550 paracord here. I mean, that's what we're working with here. It kind of sucks. I really wish they would have put a better edge on this thing and made it more, knife-like. I might try to put an edge on this thing myself, just for my own satisfaction. But right out of the box, you can see it's not that great. Say if I wanted to cut this, I mean, this is going to be... I mean, that's way too long. You should be able to slice through that in one slice, especially with something that's brand new. That's kind of the first downside. It's not a very good, regular knife. This isn't something that you're going to be keeping by your side to cut rope on a daily basis or open boxes or whatever. But that's not exactly what it's designed to do. So let's load this thing up with some CO2 and let's test it for what it's designed to do. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is stab this into some ballistics gel and discharge the CO2, see what kind of damage it does. So I'll show you how easy this thing is to load with CO2. You literally just unscrew the handle, put the CO2 cartridge in, literally that's it. It's ready to go. I'm going to put some safety glasses on. Let's stab into this thing. Oh, this is actually harder to get into than what I thought. Jeez. Come on. We gotta get all the way in there. That actually looks really good. That looks so cool. Alright, so there's not much left to do but just to push the button. Let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that CO2 took a lot. CO2 stinks. It took a lot longer to discharge than normal. You can see very clearly, you know, obviously where the knife was stabbed. But I'm surprised that there's not like a channel coming up where the CO2 was coming out. I don't know how well you could see it, but right on the tip where the CO2 was coming out, there was a slight little bubble getting pushed up. It's like it was trying to, but it, like, maybe the ballistics gel is just a little bit too thick for it to kind of like rip through or something. I guarantee that would do more damage on like actual human flesh. I want to try that again just to see if it does anything different. But I do want you to pay attention to the tip and look for that little tiny bubble I was talking about. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that was actually quite a bit bigger than I thought. I'm curious how much damage that would do like in real life, because it seems like it would do a lot. So let's try one more thing. I'm curious if, since it makes that little bubble right at the tip, if I was to stab in somewhere that was like really close to the top, I'm curious if it would actually like poke through the top. So let's stab in maybe there, and maybe like at a upward angle. So that's actually, you actually see a little bump there. All right, let's see if maybe that'll poke through. 3, 2, 1. Oh, it didn't poke through. It kind of turned into a fart machine though. There's a little chunk of ballistics gel. I don't know if that was maybe from one of the times I pulled it out, or if it just blew it out just now. But that one, you can kind of almost see the channel where it almost came up to the top. Interesting result. Not really what I expected. I expected to see more of like, I expected personally to see like maybe a 2 or 3 inch like channel where the gas came out of or something. But I guess maybe it's just not that strong. Let's try this thing underwater. You know, since it's made for divers, let's see how it reacts underwater. All right, so I'm just giving everybody fair warning. This could end in disaster, which I know you guys would like. I hope that doesn't happen because it will be a mess. You see, this is my tub of water, and I had to put a string across the center of it because this tub is not as sturdy as I thought, and the sides are trying to like bow out so much from the weight of the water that this thing acted like it was getting ready to break. So I very well might put this knife in here and release all this gas, and the pressure might just bust this thing open and we might just flood out the garage. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I've got this thing loaded, ready to go. Let's see how this thing acts underwater. Oh, that's weird. Whenever I put it under the water, it's almost like there's a magnet like pulling it down. Like it just wants to go straight down. Let's release the gas. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Okay. That wasn't as violent as I thought. Alright, let's go again. It seems like there's a lot of bubbles coming out of the handle. So I don't know if that's a CO2 leak or what. I would assume that it is, because that's a pretty good amount of bubbles. Now I want you to pay attention. I don't know if you guys saw it the first time, but there was a pretty good sized gas bubble that you could see from the CO2 underneath here. 3, 2, 1. Jeez. I can't even imagine if that was like stabbed inside of something, all that pressure getting released. That is crazy. All right, so let's take this outside and let's enjoy some real destruction. All right, first thing on our list is a watermelon. I have a feeling that I'm probably gonna end up just covered in watermelon. All right, let's go in. 3, 2, 1. Okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought. Although, it did pretty much, it ripped open 3/4 of our watermelon. So, I mean, that's pretty impressive. You can imagine if that was inside of a human or inside of an animal. That's pretty powerful. Next up, let's just try an ordinary water bottle. See what that does. I'm sure I'm probably gonna get soaked on this one. 3, 2, 1. That's about what you would expect. It honestly really didn't even do crazy damage. It just kind of blew out the side a little bit. I assume that this will do the same thing as the watermelon, roughly. 3, 2, 1. I think I need to hit that one again. Let's hit it again. Let's go this way. And I'll hold it down so it can't just blow away. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. It just blew out the holes. Oh, you can kind of see there. I think it blew out the center of that a little bit. Okay, nothing too crazy. Let's try a gallon of water. Maybe this has more room to expand. All right. I really think I'm gonna get soaked. 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah, that was about what I expected. Although about half the water's still in there. Now let's try something that I'm sure is gonna be quite a bit messier. Something carbonated. This thing is already under pressure, so I'm gonna try to do this fast. I'm gonna try to just stab it and then just let it have it. Oh. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Maybe not. Have no fear. I have a backup. And also, let's do this. Let's put a cinder block right here. So that way, I can stab into it without it rolling away. 3, 2, 1. I think that went just about as expected. It's all over the door and everything. I didn't realize it shot that far. All right, so the last thing that I want to try is, this is a little bit of a long shot. So we all know that you can like cut a hole in the bottom of a can and then crack it open and then you can shotgun it, right? So I want to see if this can help like maybe do that faster. So I'm gonna crack the top, but then stab this into the bottom and then shoot the CO2 in there and then see if it will shoot everything out of the front and kind of help with an accelerated shotgun, if you will. So I'm gonna open this up, I'm gonna stab this into here. All right, 3, 2, 1. No, it's not gonna work for that. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. All right, I think I can officially say that this is one of the coolest things that I own. So I'm sure that you guys will have a million different ideas of things that you want to see me do with this. So leave all of those ideas down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.